everyone, my name's Anne Marie. Welcome to this card making project. This is project 506 for anybody that's following the numbered projects. In this episode we're going to make a gorgeous card using our Anna Griffin supplies. We're going to use some older items together with some brand new items, and I think you'll like this one because there's a lot of detail. Everything I do use, I shall always put a detail list on my blog. If I can include links, then I'll include those. But I'm just starting to include not only the HSN link, but the QVC item number as well. So hoping that will help you. So just check the blog because the details are on there. I can get back to you with direct comments if you direct comment me through my blog or Facebook. And now we're back to commenting and being able to reply on YouTube as well, I'm happy to say. So let's see the items that we're going to use in today's project. So the first item that we're going to be using from the Anna Griffin range is the beautiful trimmings, dies and embossing folders. Now these are quite an older item, but just as beautiful today as they were when they first came out. And I think we might have all forgotten about these, so it would be ideal for us to get them out of our stash and use them. The second item is a newer item, and those are the mini fan dies. We're going to be using them as a base in the card, should I say. They're not a focal point, they're going to help with the layers. And then we're also going to be using the brand new feather dies. Aren't these gorgeous? So versatile, I love them. So we're going to be using, it's this one that we're going to be using, if that helps. And I maybe should have shown you the fan that we're going to use. We're going to be using, it's this one. Sorry, I was just, because we trimmed the fans down, it just looks a little different. We're going to use both the fan and the shadow die for our gorgeous card. So let's make our card. Now the first thing that we need is a card base, and I've taken the base from the Pretty Pattern card blanks from Anna. I'm just getting my bone folder, and this, for any new viewers, is from Anna's tool collection, and we use it for helping to make a nice neat crease. So I'm just going to run it along the edge of the card to make sure that crease is nice and sharp. Now I also want to point out on the back of the cards there is a little section that says handmade by, and that's where you fill your name in, so when you give your card away the recipient knows who has made it for them, so that then they can come back and say, oh, that card was gorgeous, can you make me another 300? And then you'll be like, oh yes, I will. Okay, so we're going to decorate the inside of our card first. Now the first thing that I've done is I've taken another one of the Pretty Pattern cards and I've trimmed it down so that it fits to the centre of the inside of our card. I've got double-sided tape on the back of it, and I am simply peeling the back of the tape away. I'm going to place the card slightly to the bottom edge of the card, and I'm going to turn it round, I think. It doesn't make any difference, it's just a neater edge for me, that's all. It's where I've trimmed it. Need a new blade in my trimmer. So I can press that down. Now my next layer is just a layer of ivory cardstock. So this is Anna's normal, everyday ivory cardstock. I've trimmed it down to fit, and to give you a tip, if you got the bundle of cards that Anna had in the, now then for my friends across the pond, there was 7x5, 6x4 and then a smaller size. The smaller size is great for the insides of cards. In fact the 6x4 is. I think it's just slightly different measurement. Now for this panel I'm just going to go slightly away from the top. I'm not going to make it a neat border at the top and even, but it is even around the sides and the bottom. So now this is the section that you're going to write on for when you're sending your message, etc. Next, I've used the beautiful trimmings die and the embossing folder. I've used Anna's pink metallic cardstock, and I've just trimmed it, the section to fit the card, and it's just a little bit over, so I can use my scissors to actually make sure it's going to fit perfectly. I'm going to try and get it in the middle, just underneath, well, at the side of the actual fold of the card, because we don't want to upset that. And then I can place it down, press it down, and I can use my scissors just to trim both sides. So there we go, that's side one, turn it round and trim side two. So we can take that away, and now it's trimmed to fit and perfect. So we just want a sentiment. Now I've taken one of the favourite sentiment stickers, and I've taken the back of it away so that it was in 2 layers, and we're using the same one on the front actually. So I've taken the back of that away so that I'm just left with the actual sentiment. I've got double-sided tape on the back because now we've taken the back of it away, it's no longer a sticker. I can peel that away, and I'm going to slot this underneath the centre scallop on the edge of our beautiful trimmings. I'm going to try and get it in the middle like that, and that will sit perfectly for the centre of our card. And that's our insert complete. So there's lots of room there for your messages. Obviously, like I always say, if you're going to write an essay, use a separate sheet of paper. Nice piece of note paper that you could make yourself to match. So now we can concentrate on the front of our card. So again, I'm just going to use my new bone folder. It's not a new one. I was going to say for new viewers. For new viewers, we're going to just use our bone folder again to make sure that crease is nice and sharp. Now we can build up the front of our card. Now, because we've got a highly patterned card, I'm not going to put a layer of cardstock on the top of it. Instead, I've cut out 4 of the mini fans. I've cut the shadow layer in Anna's raspberry satin foil cardstock, and then the top layer, the ornate layer of the fan, in the pink metallic cardstock. And then I've snipped them, so I've trimmed them down instead of it being a full fan. And I've put one on top of the other with foam pads between them, so that there's a little bit of height between the ornate layer and the shadow layer. And then I've made 4 of these, and I'm going to simply add them to my card, to the edge, right up to the edge. Now it doesn't matter how you trim them, because it's the middle section that we're going to see. And the last 2 are going to the bottom of the card, opposite the fans on the top. And the last one, there we go. Now you know me, I do like symmetrical, and this is going to be a great symmetrical card. Something a little bit different, incorporating our old and new. Now for the middle section, I've taken the beautiful trimmings and I've made a shadow layer. And now you're looking at it thinking, oh Anne-Marie, you've got a hole in it. How's that possible? Well, I've die cut my feathers from the middle because I wanted them in the same cardstock. This is from the Lovely Layers collection from Anna. I've die cut the feathers, and I've die cut them in such a way in the centre that you're not going to see the holes that I've made, the apertures should I say. Well, the holes, aren't they? Let's face it, I've die cut them and I've just made a hole in the middle. So my feathers are nicely die cut in the same paper. So this is the shadow layer, and using just the die from the actual beautiful trimmings. And all I've done is I've measured the actual width of our embossed layer that we're going to add next. And for that, I've simply embossed one edge and turned it round and embossed the second. And I think it was roughly the width of 4 inches. And I've snipped the middle away to get the perfect scallops. So, but this is our shadow layer, as it were, just using the die. I've got this on 3D foam and I'm going to place it through the centre of the card, and that's going to cover over the bottoms of the fans, like so. There we go. So now you can't see the bottom of the fan, apart from the bit I've cut out. But obviously we're going to remedy that with our next layer, and that's our embossed layer. So I've already said it, I took it to a width of, I think it was 4 inches, and then embossed one side, turned it round, embossed the other. Now if you're unsure about die cutting for the position of it, you can use your scissors to cut round the edge. However, when you take the actual die to the cardstock, it will just sit, it will slot into position and you'll hear it slot. Personally, I've got to be honest, I did cut that with scissors because I didn't want to squish the embossing on it. So, but I did die cut that with the die, but I did that with the scissors just because I knew if I took it through my old machine, it would just squash it. So I've got double-sided tape on the back. And did you all like seeing me at the beginning? Oh, it's so nerve-wracking, you know, showing yourself to the world. It's just one of those things. Okay, so I can put my layer over the previous layer like that. Such a pretty embossing folder is that. So that's the base of our card done. And now you can see how the fans are completely covered up apart from the edges. Next I'm going to add the feather dies. So I've cut 4 of these out, 2 in the fabric, in the paper that matches the actual shadow layer, and I've also cut 2 in the actual raspberry foil. So I'm just simply adding them to either side of the card. I've got tape at one end, flat tape, and then I've got a 3D foam at the other end. And I'm just kind of following the same route at either side. There we go, there's our last one. So you can sort of see how you've got the mixture of the gorgeous metallic against the red on from the bottom layer. So next we want some flowers. Well, I'm going to add my sentiment next, or am I? No, we'll go for flowers. So these flowers are from the favourite flower. Oh, I'm so naughty, I haven't wrote it down. These are from the favourite flower stickers. I'm going to have to check which number it was, because normally I write everything down. So I've simply got 2 roses. I've got 3D foam on the top of the rose and then left it as the sticker at the bottom. There we go. And I'm just positioning them at the side over part of the feather at either side. I've also got another flower from the favourite flower stickers. I've got 3D foam on the top again and left the bottom as a sticker. And I'm going to position that through the centre of our card, like that. There we go. We've already seen the birthday sentiment. Now I've got quite high 3D foam on this because I want it to stand proud on the card. So I'm going to add it to the centre over the bottom of the centre flower. And then I'm going to finish off the card with a little bow, and I've cut the tails off the bow. Something a little bit different. Now at home you're all sat there saying, oh, put it here, put it here. Well, I'm going to put it here. I just feel that it wants to go towards the top. Now I've cut the tails off for something different because I thought it might not look right with the tails hanging over the sentiment on this card. I don't know. I think the choice is yours because you can put the bow wherever you like to put the bow. You could do this in any different colourway that you wanted. But that is our card finished. And I think it's just such a gorgeous card. Old and new together. Stands up well. Lots of layers on this, so you might need a little bit extra for your postage. You don't have to put all the layers on. But, you know, I think it's worth it. I think it just looks so pretty. And look at the sparkle from the metallic paper and the foil paper. Gorgeous. And this is today's project. And that's the front of our card and the inside of our card. And look how pretty it is. Now, I hope you've enjoyed watching. Please check my blog for the photos of the project and the details for the items used. And I'd just like to say thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. And I shall see you next time.